This video is still in Chapter 3, Section 1, and in this video we're going to talk about how to calculate median. Median is the halfway point, and I feel like this is one of the calculations that my students do every semester, and it's really one of the most confused calculations. And it's really simple, and when we're going over it right now, it all just seems to make perfect sense, and then for some reason the calculations just fall off the railroad track, and I don't know why. So I'm going to tell you on this side of looking at this, just pay careful attention, really think of some conceptual ideas of how this is supposed to work, because then when students get in the processes, it sometimes derails. So median, the median in the highway, it's in the middle. But you can't pick the middle unless it's lined up. And so it says it's the halfway point. So whatever words you can attach to median that really makes sense to you, jot those down. Because here it says before. Before you can find this point, the data must be arranged. And maybe that's where people get confused. They just go pick the middle. But you can't. It's got to have some order to it. And it doesn't matter if it's going up or if it's going down. It's just got to go smallest to largest or largest to smallest. And when the data set is ordered, it is called a data array. I'll never ask you for that. I need you to know what a median is. I need you to know that it's halfway, and I need you to know that you line them up. And the median either will be a specific value or it will fall between two values, and you're going to have to find an average. And maybe this is where it confuses people, that in the middle of a median, we're doing an average. So I'm going to show you on my fingers. Maybe that will help. But at the top of the next page, it starts telling us in green that the median is a midpoint of a data array. And again, it's lining up the numbers. The symbol for the median, you do need to know this. MD, the doctor, I guess, the doctor median. And then there's a procedure table. And so with whatever you're taking notes, or if you're doing on an index card or on an electronic document, you need to jot this in your words. Like number 1, line them up, cue them up, do something. Number 2, determine the number of values in the data set. Because this is really important. If you've got an odd amount, it is what it is. There will be a middle one. If it's even, that's when you got to do the average. So here are my hands, or my fingers, if you can see them all. So looking here, looking at my 5 fingers, this first one says if it's odd, then we have a median. So here are my 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've lined them up, whatever the numbers are. And so these 2, and then these 2, then ends up with just 1 in the middle. Got 2 on this side, 2 on this side. And so when it's an odd number, we end up exactly in the middle. But what if I only had 4 numbers? Then I would be 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside. Uh-oh, the number belongs right here. So that means I have to take these 2 and do an average. Add them both up. There are 2 of them, so I divide by 2, and that number is going to fall right here. So when you have an odd number, you basically do a happy dance. So that would be like on example 3-4. On example 3-4, I think they even gave them, nope, they did not give them to us lined up. So here are the numbers, we lined them up, line them up, smallest to largest, and here's a 5. We got 1 on the outside, 1 that goes in, bingo, bing, 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 102.8. The winner is 102.8, and that's the median. And then we could go in and fill back in the words. Tablet sales in millions of units. So it's 108.2 millions of tablet sales. This is an example of an odd. The next one's the one I'm asking you to do in your notes, that you do it by yourself, not even looking at your notes. And so I'm going to go over it. And so when we go to find this median, wherever it says median, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, darn, that means I'm going to have to do an average because there's an odd number, but I arrange them in order. I go this one, and if you even want to use a pencil to mark them out, mark out the furthest one, mark out the next furthest one, etc. Oh well, I now have to take those 2 numbers, add them up, divide by 2, and it's going to be somewhere in the middle of those because I had to do an extra step. So they go ahead and work it out for us, and this is the one I'm suggesting you do by yourself without your notes. And so when they add those 2 middle ones, divide them by 2, we find the median's 810, and this was talking about tornadoes. So that concludes talking about median.